Hello and welcome to today's videos. We're going to go over some of the rumors I've read about a possible Esports Olympics or something of that nature next year. I am definitely more about this than I was that Mickey Mouse World Cup, as you may have noticed. In the process of that tournament going on, I have not discussed it outside of calling it a Mickey Mouse tournament because I believe that it was MSI, but not MSI because PSG's not there, and PSG were a top 8 team at that event, so they should have went if you really wanted truly the best 8 teams at the time with regional disparity. Of course, if you wanted the best 8 teams in general, you would have went to the LCK, LPL, and then added G2, and then had the 8 best teams. Team Liquid doesn't fall into that for me. So, um, with that in mind, they're thinking about doing an Esports Olympics and things of that nature. And with League of Legends, you would have countries, which is my main thing here. I have wanted a World Cup to me means nationalities being represented. Teams by nation, not teams by region. I don't care about T1 going against PLG in a World Cup. That's not a World Cup. That's two franchises and organizations going against each other. We're not going to take Manchester United and have them play, some random ass team, Milan or somebody, and call it the World Cup, right? That's not going to happen. Manchester United versus Real Madrid. That's not the World Cup finals. So let's not pretend like if we have T1 go against BLG in the finals that is the finals. No, it's not. That's not a World Cup to me. So, what would a World Cup look like? Well, you have probably similar to what you see in traditional football, ice hockey. I would say you probably get 16 teams, right? Now, how do you determine those 16 teams is tough, right? So you need to kind of look at it from an esports perspective at first and look at player base. Excuse me, and I don't have the stats here, but I'm sure you can find them somewhere. What countries play League of Legends the most? And I think the top 16 theoretically should be in that conversation. Maybe you take the top 8. So, first we look at player base. Because the player base would imply, hey, they have the most players, they might be good at the game, and they deserve an opportunity. Otherwise, maybe you look at, esport regions. And you say to yourself, okay, well, if we do it this way, you have maybe you look at Asia and you say China, South Korea, Vietnam. If we want to be, uh, you know, Taiwan, also in there. And then you say, okay, well, how else do we do this? If we got 16 teams, esport regions, well, in North America, you would do, the U.S., Canada, Mexico. And people might say, why would you have Mexico in there? Latin America doesn't do as well at international events. Yes, they don't. I mean, sorry, you're right, they don't. But at the same time, their player base is very high, and it should be respected. Latin America's server is quite large. It has many people in it. But also, there's a possibility how many are from South America. So let's look at South America, for example. And we say Brazil easily, but also Argentina and maybe Chile. And already now, look, we have 10 things here, and I haven't even gotten to Europe, which is going to be the hardest one of them all. And Oceania. Do you consider Australia in this? Japan. I didn't even include Japan. 1 second. Sorry, in Asia, even though they're an island. I'm going to forget some here. Europe, you have Germany, France, Denmark, Poland, Spain, Italy, Sweden, just to even name several there, and I'm missing some for sure. I'm not gonna pretend that I'm not. I'm probably missing some big ones. England, the UK, have some players that obviously have come from the country and played in the LEC. Um, but the point is, already just off the rip here, we have more than 16 teams. So how do we determine this? Theoretically, like I said, you look at player base, and then let's say you take maybe 8 teams here. Take 8. So we go U.S., China, South Korea, Vietnam, Taiwan, probably Denmark, Poland, Germany. Tough call here. Tough call. But the point I'm trying to make is, even hypothetically, 1, 2, 3, yeah, those 8, we'd still need 8 more, right, with 16. So, what you do, I think, is you have an open bracket, tournament. For the other 8. And it's quite simple. You just like at the Olympics, you qualify, you get an opportunity to go, and you do trials or something to determine whether you make it. Not regional ones where it's like, okay, well, we're guaranteed to have a South American team at this event or an Oceanic team. No, that's not what this is about. Best countries, right? So you take them and you play open tournament, as in like even random draw, which people don't like. I would prefer it be single elim in general for the entirety. And, I think 16 teams would be about perfect. You do 4 groups of 4, just like you would do at Worlds, theoretically, and then just go from there. A lot of people want double elim, but personally, I believe that single elim makes every game really, really matter because someone's going home. And then you hear, though, yeah, well, I didn't get to see that team play again. It was really disheartening. Couldn't see it. Well, if you're a fan of a team, that's not who this is not who this is for. If you're a fan of a team, then if your team doesn't go to Worlds or your team doesn't go to an event or your country doesn't go to an event, then you're not going to watch either way. So unless I'm rigging it so you're guaranteed to go every time, I don't really care about your opinion because you're not going to be you're not a person that's going to stick around. You're going to go fair weather when your team's there or country's there and when they're not. So single elim, I think, provides that. It provides some sort of stakes in every game. It makes every game watchable. And yeah, you could have upsets, but hell, in real life, it's single elim for a reason. And they say, oh yeah, well, it's because of time. It's because they're physical sports and this or that. And it's like, no, I'm sure you can find non-physical sports and non-physical games that are decided in single elimination. And personally, I think that as long as single elimination for everybody's treated the same. When double elim, you have the winner bracket finals and things like that. But most of those people are fans of teams in some way, shape, or form. So they have bias when they say that. Generally, they don't say that when their least favorite team goes to loser's bracket and then goes to winner's bracket and beats their favorite team. They're usually quite quiet then, in which case their opinion, once again, invalid. But that's the thing. So, I'm trying to think. I've always wanted. I've done this before actually on a document and never made a video about it. Trying to form teams and things like that, or at least finding out who could have a team just using the 4 major regions, which is tough because like Europe, it's hard to find certain roles for certain players. So that is a thing. But even like Belgium is somebody I would consider maybe even in Europe. But it would be cool, I think, for countries to just send their team and see what happens. More so than orgs. I could care less about orgs. And the fact that was an invitational makes it even more silly that people actually valued it because there might be teams that just turned it down. And it's a real joke. So thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, like it, subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Follow me on Twitter, join the Discord, become a YouTube supporter. Hope to see you again tomorrow.